Real quick. Hey. You got it. Hey. Stand right here.
He should have given me the opportunity.
I want everybody to pay attention. Look.
At least he should have given me the opportunity to
Everybody pay attention. Listen.
Pay attention.
I just want to let you know that ever since I've met you, you have been... Ever since I met you, you have been a blessing in my life, and I can't picture myself being with anybody else for the rest of my life. All right, so in front of everybody, I just wanted to know. All right. We're gonna do it right hand or the left hand? Oh, it fits perfect. Love you so much. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you, love.
Hey, that's how we do it.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
But I couldn't. That's okay. Baby.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, y'all can get back to cooking. Unless you want to cook. You want to go? Are you a Muslim? What are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm Muslim. I wanted to respond to what he said, but he didn't give me the chance.
I don't think he...
I wanted to just say a couple of things because...
Did you understand what he said, though? You were arguing. You were saying...
I do understand. He gave an example of two human beings, a husband and a wife, which both are human beings, right?
Yeah.
The wife is subject to the husband, which I understand. They're both human beings. But Jesus says God is spirit, indicating the Father is spirit. Now, Jesus in heaven, he has a body, which is a glorified body. It's not the same as the Father. So now, my point is that if he is equal to God, right, in his glorified full divine state, but then we find out that he's handing over the kingdom to God, and he's going to be subject under God. Now, according to the Greek, it says subject means subordination. So I'm saying that if I am equal to you and we are both God, why do I have to be subject and inferior to you while we are both in heaven?
You're just repeating the same thing over and over again. No, but here's the thing. When we're saying that he's equal to the Father by nature, right? He shares the same... By nature, by the properties of God, he shares the same identical nature.
Example.
And all-knowing or whatever.
He wasn't all-knowing.
Yes, he was all-knowing.
No,
yes,
he wasn't.
Okay, Mark 13:32.
He wasn't all-knowing. There are instances, even when he went to the fig tree, he didn't know the fig tree didn't have fig fruit. Also, in the parable,
what was the purpose of cursing the fig tree?
Because it didn't have fig fruit.
What was the purpose for him to do that?
That's what I'm saying. The verse says that when he went to the fig fruit,
that's incorrect.
The purpose.
He talked to the apostles. He did it on purpose in order to show a prophecy of the temple going down. So, in order for him to give an example and use the fig tree, he had to have known those things that happened.
But he was the one who created the tree, so he knows
He was using a prophecy from Jeremiah to teach the apostles that the temple was going down. So he had to have known those things in order for that to happen.
Yeah, but when you actually...
You're taking that verse out of context, is my point.
It's okay. Let's not drag that. Now, for example, when he was in the crowd and the bleeding woman, you remember when the woman was bleeding and touched him and he felt power came out of him? He says, who touched me?
Yeah. Okay.
Did he know what the woman touched him? How? Can you explain?
It's a rhetorical question. So here, let me ask you this. Does Allah ever ask a question at all in the Quran?
I think Allah can ask.
So if he's asking a question in the Quran, does he not know the answer to that question?
Yeah, but Allah is not in our midst, right?
But it's a rhetorical question. So you're holding a standard against our Bible.
Are you saying that
happens in your Quran? But look, real quick. To go back to the original argument, because we got off track. What Logic was saying is that he shares the same nature as the Father, and just because he's serving the Father doesn't mean he loses that nature.
So let's examine that then. If he shares the same nature, he was given authority, power, and dominion, right?
Right.
Was the power given authority?
Was the what?
Was the Father given authority?
The Father gave the authority to the Son, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't share the same nature.
What is the nature of Jesus?
Brother, this is why he stopped talking to you.
Because you say he's sharing, but then I ask you...
Because being subject to somebody else doesn't mean you are less of a nature. That's why like this, we're going around in circles.
Brother, God is God. The there's nobody above God. You get my point? So if at the point there is someone above God that is receiving authority, then he's not God.
Yeah, but your argument falls flat. Just like he using the example of a husband and a wife. Just because the wife is subject to the husband doesn't mean she becomes less human.
Yeah.
Same thing for the son. Just because he serves the father doesn't mean he becomes less God. That's the point.
Well,
your argument doesn't follow.
You're saying that him serving the father does not make him less of God. But my
Right,
issue
because we're
is
talking
not
about nature.
My issue is not about serving. You are saying that he has the same nature, essence, and properties of God. But we find out that he's receiving these same properties or power or things that makes God God, so that he could do.
No,
for example,
you're conflating nature and authority.
Now,
Those are two different
let's
things.
examine when he forgave sins. Do you guys remember?
You're conflating nature
I'm
and
giving you an
authority.
example, brother.
Hold on. You're conflating nature and authority. Like nature and authority, they're not the same thing, bro.
But I know they're not the same thing. But
Okay, so then
what
your
makes
argument,
God?
so that doesn't matter. Even if I grant you all of that, that doesn't mean he loses his divine nature.
Does God has absolute authority?
All right, man. You're just going around in circles. You just keep going around in circles.
Okay, no.
I don't know. If somebody else wants to take it.
One final thing.
Yeah,
One
go
final
ahead.
thing.
Go ahead.
One
We're going around in
final
circles
thing. If you
with
can
that.
answer